What's up, Fish Tube? Bearded Bob once again. Doing another one of my 10-gallon tanks on this big rack that I built up. This one is, as you can see there, maybe you can see, Blue Diamond. I added these guys. I moved them from this tank down here up to this one in January, but before that I got them in like June or July last year, and they didn't do much anything. There was no breeding activity whatsoever. Once I finally moved them up here, it seems like the water conditions ended up being right for them and they started breeding. So we got some shrimplets there, you can see. If it'll focus. Yeah, and then in here we just have a little chunk of flame moss. Seems to be doing better. There's still, so you can see some hair algae kind of growing in the base of that. I don't know, this flame moss seems to gather a lot of hair algae in these tanks. I'm not sure if it's because the lighting is just kind of a junky light. Let's see what I got up there. I got, this is a Beamswork, but it's like this Beamswork here is a DA version, and there's more lights on it. I think it's a little bit more powerful, got better power. And on this one, it's just the EA version, which I'll never buy again. It's this one's kind of like an aluminum casing, and the one up there is like a plastic casing, so it kind of bends weird in metal, and it's just not a good light. Eventually that will get replaced, but just not right now. So, as you can see, we're getting shaded out pretty well from this massive duckweed that's taken over the top of this aquarium. This one is due for a cleaning. You can see some shrimplets kind of swimming around back there, maybe right there. Mostly you can just see my phone reflection. Got a piece of cholla wood, and I got this piece of driftwood back there. Now I usually put this in a bucket down in the basement, and I change the water daily for about a month, sometimes longer. And this chunk of driftwood, I only did it for about 2 weeks, and as you can tell, the water is pretty stained with tannins. But maybe that's what set these blue diamonds off and what made them started to breed. A little bit lower pH than most of my other aquariums probably. For stuff in here besides the blue diamonds, we just got a giant rock pile kind of in the back there, that chunk of driftwood, piece of cholla wood. This is Anubias. I believe this one is Anubias Nana, not the petite version, but just regular Nana. We've got some Java fern, that hair algae ridden flame moss, and back behind there is, let's see, I think that's another Anubias back there. You can't really see it. I think that one is Fraseri, pretty sure anyways. Yeah, and then just some ram's horn snails that just keep breeding and making many more. They just kind of take over every aquarium. It's not a big deal. Usually if they get too thick in there, I'll put some food in there, wait for them to clump up on it, and then I'll just scoop them all out. Hopefully not getting any shrimp with it, you know, it's a little bit harder. Or sometimes just, you know, feed the shrimp with some of these guys. Not a big deal. Not hard to deal with. The lighting in here, I think, is the main issue. You know, with the amount of algae and hair algae and whatever that keeps growing in here. You can see clumps kind of growing in the gravel and stuff there. But yeah, these guys have been in there for a couple of months now, and we definitely got some breeding action going on. We're starting to fill out, and I don't see them much because this tank is up pretty high. Like, this is my eye level right here, so in order to kind of look in here, I got to get up on the ladder and browse, which I don't do very often. These tanks up here, they get a water change about once every 2 weeks, sometimes less. Like, say this one here is, you know, set up for Silweasy shrimp, so, and there's nothing in here right now besides some snails and some wassertang and obviously duckweed. And then this one over here is set up for Caridina shrimp. So this one I just drain some water out to do a water change, and so about every 2 weeks, because there's not too much going on in these tanks. The nitrates still stay very, very low. I think the only nitrates that I really see is the additional stuff that I put in there from the Thrive S for these plants, but I only add that into these tanks about every 2 weeks too. So when I do a water change, I usually toss some fertilizer in there. And these ones are pretty good low maintenance plant tank, since I don't really get to this one very often. That moss I might have to pull out and stick in a different tank just because it's starting to get full of hair algae again and stuff. The duckweed gets scooped out about every 2 weeks too, and I usually save it, dry it out, throw it in the freezer or whatever so I can make some homemade shrimp and fish food. And that's pretty much it for this tank. Like I said, these 10-gallon tanks, they don't have a lot going on in them, so the videos will stay kind of short and sweet, about 5 minutes. And I do appreciate likes, and you know, if you got any questions, comments, please put them down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and otherwise we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.